Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beto Duran.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sergio.
Beto, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Remember, Marquez Vasquez was here.
Marquez Vasquez.
Yeah. Wow.
Marquez Vasquez, awesome. Alvarado.
I do, yep.
Rios Alvarado. Thank you. Thank you.
The hook landed by Ray Vargas. Vargas lands a nice right hand. Over the top. Tomoki, El Mexicanito, Kameda.
Welcome to a beautiful, warm Saturday afternoon in Southern California. We're just outside Los Angeles in Carson as we get ready for a great night of fights brought to you by Golden Boy exclusively on Dazn. And tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Tecate, the official beer of boxing, and by Hennessy. Never stop, never settle. We start with our undercard tonight here at 6 p.m. local time, and we get started with one of the brothers. He has his brother Joet Gonzalez fighting later tonight. Joet Gonzalez taking on Jorge Padron at 4 p.m. local time. Ruslan Madiyev trying to get back on track after suffering his first loss after a cut stopped his final bout. He's squaring off against Ricky Sismundo. And then in our featured prelim, Alexis Rocha taking on Berlin Abreu. Rocha looking to remain unbeaten. He is a hot prospect here in Golden Boy. And then at 6 p.m., the main card gets started with the blue chip prospect, the one everyone's talking about from Mexico with a nearly 90% knockout ratio. Rocky Hernandez is back taking on Roger Gutierrez. Then it's Joet Gonzalez, who believes if he wins tonight over Manuel Villa, he'll get a world title shot. That's a 10-rounder. And then we move to our co-main event, the second cousin of Oscar, Diego De La Hoya, taking on Ronnie Rios, who smells upset here in Southern California. And then our main event, Ray Vargas defending his world title for the 5th time against Tomoki Kameda, who is a 3-1 underdog. But my partner tonight thinks we could have another upset in the making. We welcome you inside what was formerly known as the Home Depot Center, formerly known as the StubHub Center, currently known as the Dignity Health Sports Park. My name is Todd Grisham, alongside, of course, the Latin Snake, Sergio Mora. Why did you get to wear sunglasses and I didn't?
Well, when you've headlined here and you're a former champion, you have seniority. I have seniority over you.
Okay. He's a former world champion. He wear whatever he wants. But what is it about this venue that brings out the best in fighters? It was called War Grounds by Timothy Bradley. He fought Ruslan Provodnikov. He had Rios Alvarado. So many big fights here.
I just think it's a passion. The fans love it. It's in their blood here. There's a big Mexican population here, but not only that, we have different cities that come to this venue. So not only does it bring out the best, the open arena, it's kind of like the old gladiator days. So yeah, this definitely brings out the warriors and all these warriors and fighters.
Yeah, it seems like there's a little more juice when it's being held outside. Let's talk about our main event. It is Vasquez taking on Kameda. Your thoughts on that fight?
Well, listen, I really think that Kameda has an opportunity.
Vargas.
Yes, I was about to correct you. I think Kameda really has an opportunity here to catch Vargas. Ray Vargas, he's shown some vulnerabilities. In his last fight, he was dropped. He's also been cut on both thighs. He had a popped eardrum, and he kind of suffered and got out hustled by Azat Havanasian. So if there's a prime time for prime picking for Kameda to become a two-time world champion, it's going to be today or tonight.
All right, well, he's listed as a 3-1 underdog as Kameda, but he feels very confident he can get the win and claim his first big-time world title. And for more on that fight, we send it to the third member of our broadcast crew, Padron in the house.
Yeah, Vargas and Kameda should be a good fight tonight. Now, one of the things, though, the Mexican fighter is Vargas. He has a big following. Also, the big following tonight, Rocky Hernandez. And Hernandez is a fighter. His given name, Eduardo. Don't call him that. Don't even call him Lalo. He said, everybody calls me Rocky. Why? Because when he was 10, he binged the Rocky movies. Rocky 3 is his favorite, by the way. He told his dad afterwards, take me to the gym. I'm a little bit overweight. I want to learn how to fight. So because of the Rocky movies, he got into boxing. He loved it so much that he even has the Rocky tattoo right here on his arm. Now, he said, though, he had to move to the United States to make an impact. It's the first time fighting here, and he's really excited to put on a show. Back to you, Todd.
Rocky Hernandez, as I mentioned, knocks out almost 9 of every 10 opponents. He'll look for another one here tonight. But let's jump right into our first fight. It's Gonzalez versus Padron, and with the introductions, we go into the ring, and Joe Martinez.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, our first bout live on Dazn Worldwide. 4 rounds in the lightweight division. And making his way first to the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, from Sonora, Mexico, Jorge Padron. And his opponent tonight, fighting out of the red corner, from Glendora, California, Jose Gonzalez.
Jose Gonzalez, 8-0-1, all 8 of his wins coming by knockout as well. He took some time off, said his health is the most important thing to him. He felt last time after a knee injury, Sergio, he came back a little too soon. Says he's 100% right now.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're such a passionate fighter. You want to get back in the ring as fast as possible, but the smart thing to do is to really get better. You got to get well, not only mentally and physically, but make sure there's no injuries.
Here is our tail of the tape for our opening bout. Gonzalez, 5'9" tall, actually listed at 5'10" here on this, compared to Padron, who's 5'7". Gonzalez still in the early stages of his career, only 24 years old, and look at the reach advantage he will have here tonight. Rules tonight: no 3 knockdown rule, no standing 8 count. You cannot be saved by the bell in any round, and only the referee can stop the fight. Back now to Joe Martinez.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon and welcome to Dignity Health Sports Park here in Carson, California, for an exciting night of professional boxing, all brought to you by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, and presented to you by Tecate, the official beer of boxing, and Hennessy, never stop, never settle. And we're set to go with this first bout live on Dazn Worldwide. 4 rounds, this in the lightweight division. Your 3 judges scoring at ringside: Carla Calles, Alejandro Rochin, and Zach Young. And when the action begins inside the ring, your referee in charge, Jack Reese. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks trimmed in the flag of Mexico, green, white, and red. He weighed in officially 134.5 pounds, and in 6 professional bouts, holds an even record of 3 victories, 3 defeats. All 3 wins coming by way of knockout desde Agua Prieta, Sonora, Mexico, presentando Dandy Jorge Padron. And across the ring stands his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. Wearing tonight, white trunks trimmed in gold, both with the flag of America and Mexico. He weighed in also 134.5 pounds, and in 9 professional bouts, he is unbeaten. 8 victories, all 8 wins coming by way of knockout with 1 draw, fighting out of Covina, California. By way of Glendora, California, here is Gonzalez.
Okay, Coach, these are a little bit high. I'm going to let them work in here. No, it's okay. It's just, I'm going to let them work in here. I gave you instructions. Please, escúchame. Pelea duro, pelea limpio. Toco la mano.
Jose Gonzalez sat out for a while with a knee injury, came back and had a 6-round majority draw with Ivan Delgado in October. Took off a little more time, but there was in a car accident. Said he thought he was going to die. The car caught fire, filled with smoke. Said it's a blessing that he's still alive and able to fight. And then vows not only to come back strong here tonight, Sergio, but to get an early knockout.
And I think he might get it. He's in there with a guy that's, like I said earlier, it's going to either win or get knocked out trying.
All of these 2 combined opponents' wins have come by way of knockout. 8 for Gonzalez, 3 for Padron, and 3 losses for Padron, also by KO. Jack Reese, our referee tonight, has a beard, but there is no ref cam in the beard as far as I could see.
The best of the business, Jack Reese.
He'll live off that Tyson Fury-Deontay Wilder fight for the rest of his life. The way he gave Fury a few extra seconds, and it made all the difference. Nice jab to start things off here for Gonzalez. And Sergio, it is hot.
I am sweating. My shirt is already drenched with sweat.
You prefer when you're a fighter, though, to be in there in the heat rather than being cold, as a left hand lands there for Gonzalez.
No, actually, it's kind of tricky. I fought here before when it was called the Home Depot Center, actually. And I fought in the daylight. And it was a little tricky because there was no lights. There was no environment. You could see all the faces in the crowd. And there was no crescendo in the crowd. No oohs and ahs. So it was kind of weird and quiet.
That was what, the late 80s, Sergio? As it goes down, that's a knockdown. For Gonzalez, Padron down.
6, 7, 8, 9. ¿Quieres seguir? Caminar ahí. Dame los guantes. Necesito protect yourself. Okay? ¿Está bien?
It was an overhand right from Gonzalez to put Padron down. Let's see if he can finish it here in round 1.
Stop.
I'll be very surprised if Padron could actually get out of this round. He's a tough fighter, but like I said, he either wins or gets knocked out trying.
A very defensive posture here for Padron. Jack Reese asking him to fight back. Oh, nice right cross there from Gonzalez.
Chopping right hand right to the left side of Padron's ear.
Oh, Padron letting his hands go, but that means he compromises his defense as Gonzalez takes advantage again.
Yeah, but he needs to get his respect. He can't just have Gonzalez coming out here and throwing all kinds of body shots and head shots like that. He needs to stand up for himself. That's exactly what Padron's doing.
Padron trying to make it competitive here in round 1. He's already been down. Look at Tito again. Another, a left hand this time sends Padron down.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. ¿Quieres seguir? ¿Está bien? Dame el guante. Caminar ahí y camina aquí. Come on. Necesito pelea. Stop at the bell.
Let's see if he'll make it out of the round. He does.
Stop.
But Gonzalez with 2 knockdowns in the first.
Vente, güey. Siéntate.
Ciérrale, güey. Muy bien.
Let's look at the shot
que
that
hagas
hurt
ese
Padron
trabajo que
early.
hiciste ahorita. Necesitamos que te muevas.
It was a left hook right there to the right side of the temple of Padron. That caught his attention. And here's the first knockdown. It was a glancing left uppercut, overhand right. Chopping shots there by Gonzalez. And here's the second knockdown. Coming with a flurry of punches. Nothing really landed cleanly, but it was enough for Padron to go down.
Salte, güey, o agárralo. O sea,
Gonzalez with a 10-8 round.
Que te golpee. Ya ahorita, ya le va a empezar a bajar de huevos, güey. Ya le va a empezar a bajar de huevos. Esto fue lo más.
You throw the right hand and you drop your left.
So what's the best thing for Padron to do here in round 2 to get back in this fight, Sergio?
Well, listen, I think he did the right thing. He fought when he was cornered, and I didn't think he was going to get out of that first round. And he's just throwing the punches. He needs to throw punches to get respect, and that's exactly what he's doing against Jose Gonzalez. But we're going to see if the corner is going to let Padron get out of the corner, because sometimes the corner needs to save their fighter, even though he hasn't taken too much punishment yet.
Well, Padron trained by former welterweight gatekeeper Saul Corral. Great experience fighting prospect. Same position that Padron is in right now. Well, he knows he's got a powerful punch, Sergio. He's probably thinking in the back of his mind, if I can just land one clean shot, maybe I can get back into this.
Yeah, that's always the case when you're dealing with a fighter that's all in or nothing like that. And he does have pop in his 3 wins, 3 knockouts, so he does have confidence in those punches.
Tito Gonzalez. Ooh, there's a shot from Padron.
Stop my break. Separate.
Gonzalez had stopped his first 7 opponents in the first round. But since then, the last 2 took a little longer for him to get that 8th knockout, and then his last fight was a majority draw.
Sneaky body shot there by Padron in the inside.
All right, stop.
Gonzalez not smothering his punches, which I like seeing in young prospects, because that's where you lose your power. You got to get the distance and don't smother yourself.
Suértelo. Come on.
Gonzalez very fundamentally sound. Fights behind the jab, looks for the right shots, picks apart the body, is not in a hurry. Solid prospect.
Stop. Let him go. Turn around. I got a small cut from a punch. Box.
You heard Jack Reese say a small cut.
Bridge of his nose.
Right on Padron's nose.
Stop, Jones. Let him go. Box.
They both exchange hooks there. Gonzalez doing the better of it.
Gonzalez definitely getting the better of it, but Padron's trying to sneak in and trying to punch in between the punches, which is the smart thing to do if you're outmanned and outgunned.
Gonzalez's brother Joet Gonzalez fighting later here tonight. Says it's always great when they fight on the same card or near the same time because they can train together. This fight, though, scheduled for just 4 rounds. His brother's scheduled for 10. Has a couple rights and a nice left hook. A good one from Gonzalez.
4, 5.
They're stopping this fight.
And that's it. 3 knockdowns for Gonzalez and win number 9. An emphatic return for the man nicknamed Tito. The corner came in and stopped it. Sergio Gonzalez promised an early knockout, and that's what he got here in round 2.
Listen, I thought Gonzalez was going to get it in that first round because he's a fundamentally sound fighter, but he took his time and took him out in that second round. Nice performance there by Gonzalez. Here we see Gonzalez come in with a right-left combination. It was that chopping right hook in the inside that actually threw Padron off. It was 2 right hooks. And down for the count right there. Jack Reese over and counting. Calls the fight. And here's another look. Right uppercut, left hook. Everything coming off real nicely for Jose Gonzalez. Punches from all over, every angle, up, down, around. Nice performance there by Jose Gonzalez. Here we're gonna have one more look at the knockdown. Left hook right on the button there. Padron took it well, but it was those chopping right hands behind the ear, which are illegal, and then that left hook that finished it off for a second round knockout. And now we throw it up to Joe Martinez.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the end comes officially 2 minutes, 15 seconds, round number 2. By request of the blue corner, referee Jack Reese puts a halt to this bout for your winner by KO victory and still unbeaten from Glendora, California, Jose Tito Gonzalez.
Here we're going to see some highlights. Of course, they're all going to be Gonzalez coming after him, but Padron was game. He was trying to punch in between the shots, which is a smart thing. But right there, Gonzalez got the better of the punches with chopping overhand rights. Keeping the pressure on the hurt Padron, backing him up against the ropes. Uppercuts, left hooks, chopping right hands. Padron game, though, kept getting up, kept getting put down. Ultimately, it was those right hooks to the backside of the head and the left hook. And Jack Reese called the fight. And now we're going to throw it up to Todd Grisham with the winner.
Yes, indeed, here with Jose Gonzalez. Congratulations on your victory. You promised us an early stoppage tonight. That's what you got. How would you rate your performance?
You know, I'm my toughest critic. I would give myself a 5 out of 10. There's a lot of things I could have done differently to get him out of here earlier than that, but I'll give myself a 5 out of 10.
Your last performance, a majority draw. I know you weren't happy. You said you weren't 100% healthy. How do you feel now after this win?
You know, I feel good. It feels good, you know, to be back in action, and, you know, I want to be more busy. I didn't take any shots today. So, you know, I'm ready to get back in there, you know, as soon as possible.
And I know your brother Joet was in your corner. He's fighting later tonight. You guys have a friendly rivalry on who's going to have the better performance tonight. You put down the marker. How do you think he's going to do?
My brother's going to kill it tonight. I promise you. You heard it here first. My brother's ready. He's the best featherweight in the world. Watch, you'll see tonight.
All right, one win for Gonzalez. We might see 2 later tonight. Give it up one more time for Jose Gonzalez. Madiyev is coming up next. We spoke to him just earlier, a few minutes ago.
The most important thing, though, we got to make sure we say the name right. Madiyev, correct?
Yes, correct. Madiyev.
Madiyev. Yes. All right, so Ruslan Madiyev. Correct. Well, you're fighting at Dignity Health. You fought here before. What's it like when you walk into this ring here?
Как ты раньше здесь боксировал? Как ты себя чувствуешь? Как тебе нравится?
Мне нравится хорошая атмосфера, много людей на улице. Я 3 раза здесь боксировал, 3 раза выиграл.
This is his 4th time, and he likes atmosphere here. When he walks in, he feels happy and just want to fight.
There's a new camp with Joel Diaz. How was camp with him for the first time?
У тебя новый был тренинг с Джоэл Диасом. Как тебе это понравилось?
Да, он много чему новому меня научил, и каждый день я добавлял и добавлял.
He said he taught me a lot of new things, and every day I was feeling more comfortable, more and more. So he's glad that he part of this team.
It's a different world out in India. He's learned any Spanish yet? Have you learned Espanol?
He learned mucho trabajo, mucho dinero. This is what he said.
Mucho trabajo.
Денег, много работы.
Poquito, mucho trabajo, mucho dinero. He's got the smile. Ruslan, good luck to you today. Let's go back to your ringside.
Sounds a lot like my Spanish, does it not, Sergio?
No, his is better, actually.
I was going to come back with a Spanish retort, but couldn't think of anything. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Our second fight of the night scheduled for 8 rounds. Ruslan Madiyev taking on Ricky Sismundo in the super lightweight division.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The action continues from here inside of Dignity Sports Park. 8-round super lightweights making his way to the ring. Out of the blue corner, from Yokohama, Japan, Ricky Sismundo.
Ricky Sismundo, a veteran in this sport. He's had over 50 professional fights, Sergio. How does he pull off the upset?
It's going to be very tough against Madiyev, but he's been stopped 5 times in his career, and 4 of those 5 times were undefeated fighters. And once again, he's fighting an undefeated fighter, well, actually a fighter with 1 loss in Ruslan Madiyev.
Ricky Sismundo, 32 years old, born in the Philippines, now resides in Yokohama, Japan.
And his opponent tonight, fighting out of the red corner, representing Los Angeles, California, by way of Karaganda, Kazakhstan, here is Ruslan Madiyev.
Ruslan Madiyev, 12-1, and that 1 loss came in his last fight, but it was somewhat controversial. It happened in September at the hands of Mexican veteran Pablo Cesar Canoa. An accidental clash of heads cut Canoa in round 5. The gash was immediately furthered by a Madiyev right hand. Plenty of confusion as the referee in Las Vegas stopped the fight, so it went to the cards through 5 rounds, and Madiyev lost, but Sergio, he said, listen, my strategy was to take him apart in the later rounds.
No, he told us he was waiting for after the 5th round. That's when he knows that Cano tires out. He wanted to clash with him, but because they clashed heads, that wasn't able to happen.
Well, you can see he's got a power broker in his corner, Joel Diaz. He doesn't mess around unless you've got world championship credentials.
No, Joel Diaz, he flew from Mexico just to be in this man's corner. That shows just the respect he has for Ruslan Madiyev. But yes, no, not only that, but Antonio Diaz, Julio Diaz, the Diaz brothers from India. They know how to turn professional fighters and prospects into champions.
And this was his first camp with trainer Joel Diaz. Used to be with Abel Sanchez. Here's our tale of the tape, our second fight of the night. Ruslan Madiyev, 26 years old, with a 67-inch reach. That's 1 inch shorter than the underdog, Ricky Sismundo, who's 32 years old and 5'5". Back into the ring, and Joe Martinez.
Well, fight fans, the action continues. Here we go, 8 rounds. This in the super lightweight division. Your 3 judges scoring at ringside, Max DeLuca, Hubert Min, and Kevin Scott. And when the action begins inside the ring, referee in charge, Jose Cobian. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue trimmed in gold. He weighed in officially 139 pounds. This veteran of 51 professional fights holds a record of 35 victories, including 17 knockouts, 13 defeats, and 3 bouts even from Yokohama, Kanagawa, Japan. Here is Ricky Sismundo. Across the ring stands his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trimmed in black. He too weighed in officially 139 pounds. In 13 professional fights, his record, 12 victories, just 1 defeat, 5 wins coming by way of knockout from Karaganda, Kazakhstan. Now fighting out of Los Angeles, California, here is Ruslan Madiyev.
You've been given instructions. Mouthpiece in, seconds out. Touch him up, come back with the bell. Good luck.
Ruslan Madiyev says he never thinks about knockouts. He was trained not to. Some fighters think very differently. Sergio, which mindset do you prefer?
Well, I wasn't born puncher, so I always went in there to last the distance. But Madiyev, he has good power in both those hands. He just needs to develop the power behind technique and distance.
Recently signed to Golden Boy Promotions. Big moment here for Ruslan Madiyev. Fighting in Carson, California. Dignity Health Sports Park. Earlier on his Instagram page, Sergio said I had neither dignity or health.
Yes, I did.
Thank you for that. Ruslan in the white and black, Sismundo in the blue and gold.
Sismundo is a shorter fighter. He likes to use head movement. He doesn't really jab much. He wants to get on the inside and do work. He has pretty quick feet, though. He relies on foot movement and head movement.
Of course, another Filipino boxer will be fighting relatively soon. How about next week? The return of Manny Pacquiao. How do you think he's going to do against Keith Thurman?
I don't know. The odds are getting closer and closer. I believe that Pacquiao might be favored now, but Thurman is a big, big fighter, a big puncher. But I really think, I mean, look, every great legend, every great fighter has a great night left in them, and Manny Pacquiao has had a lot of great nights. It's going to be a good one. You got to give Pacquiao a big opportunity, a big chance to pull off the upset.
How's that country song go? I'm not as great as I used to be, but I can still be. It's like George Bush.
I don't listen to country, Todd. Sorry.
I'm not as great as I once was, but I can be as great as I was once. Get it now?
I got it. Yeah. Just like I said, every great fighter has one great best chance.
There's a great right hand from Madiyev. Well, Ricky Sismundo won't be nervous or shy in this fight. When you have 35 wins, you know what you're doing in there. He's traveled the world. And it'll be Francisco Calderon who's filling in his corner tonight in place of Kameda.
Yeah, but it really doesn't matter who's in his corner if you're Ricky Sismundo. Like you said, he's fought all over the place, in the Philippines, Japan, Russia, Indonesia, Mexico. He's a true road warrior.
Yeah, 9 different countries Sismundo has fought in. This is certainly a unique venue. A big swing and a miss for Ruslan. Boy, Sismundo's given as good as he's taken right now.
Yeah, he is. He's in there. I would like to see more body shots by Madiyev because, like I mentioned earlier, Ricky Sismundo does have good upper head movement, waist movement. He has fast feet. So you need to stop him in the inside with some body shots. Control him with the jab.
Big wide right hand there for Sismundo.
See, that's what I don't want to see if you're Ruslan Madiyev. I don't want to see no winging shots. You're too polished for that. Straight punches.
Okay? Ruslan, hey, you gotta throw straight punches and then to the body. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, every time you throw the right, you're right, boom, boom. Hey, also, uppercut hook. Understand? Okay? Breathe. You okay? Hey, you need to go forward. Like this. Let me see.
Shoulder.
Ready?
One.
That's okay.
Shoulder.
Okay. It's out. Again?
Okay.
Again? Okay, let's continue. Let's see the other one.
Can you continue?
Right here, it looks like Sismundo hurt his right shoulder. He's complaining to his corner that he has pain in his right shoulder. There it is right there. Maybe he pulled it.
It was almost like maybe it came out of socket. He had members of his corner trying to yank his arm.
Don't move. Hold him there. He's moving. Tell him not to move. Don't move. Don't move. Keep it on the shoulders and that's it, no? Shoulder. Yeah. Keep it.
Looks like he will continue, and that's got to be frustrating considering he had a pretty solid round 1.
No, absolutely. He saw some success.
Call the doctor in.
But ultimately, you gotta hand it to Sismundo right there. He could have had a way out right there with an injury, but he didn't want that. He wants to keep fighting. Clash of heads right there. Sismundo comes out strong.
You gotta love a fighter who'd rather go out on his shield than in the corner.
I love that. I mean, that's the beauty and the purity of boxing and the heart of a warrior. You'd rather go out on your shield like that.
Oh, nice right landing there for Ruslan. Joel Diaz telling Madiyev he wanted straight punches.
And he wants to back up Sismundo because he knows that Sismundo he fights coming forward. He's a shorter man. That's his forte. He likes to get in the inside. But if you back up the smaller man, he feels uncomfortable. So that's what Joel Diaz wants. Good 1-2 there by Madiyev.
High output, especially for Sismundo, through 1.5 rounds.
Madiyev turning southpaw right there. Back to conventional. That's a good shot to a left hook to the liver right there. Beautiful shot. It was partially blocked, but they'll still get your attention.
Good uppercut there by Madiyev as well, who's picking his spots a lot better here in round 2.
I would love to see Madiyev go right back downstairs to the liver. Right side of Sismundo's body.
No, stop. Don't push.
Sismundo has said he has sparred his fellow countryman Manny Pacquiao very often. Keeps him in shape. They work with each other. Attended college in the Philippines. By day, he's a personal trainer. A wife with 3 kids. So trying to live a normal life, if a boxer's life could be normal. Do you see any lingering effects of that right shoulder injury?
No, I don't actually, and I can't help but watch it. Look at how big Sismundo's legs are. I mean, it's just powerful, his calves and thighs. I mean, he's a strong fighter.
Well, he's outworking Ruslan, but Madiyev is certainly landing at a higher percentage.
No, and he's landing the cleaner shots, the effective shots. The body shots have been the best ones, and right there, Sismundo returns the favor. Really good body work by both fighters.
Oh, nice right hand there by Madiyev, and another one. Boy, Sismundo does not want to take a step back, does he?
No, he doesn't. He gets hit and growls.
Listen to the bell. Break thing. Oh, stop. It's a break. You didn't step back.
Please don't let me
Yeah. Go and play that. Take you down, I'ma say that. Mine need me a couple dollars. Telling you now, this payback. Cause I'm back in my zone now.
I'm gonna lay all of these guys out one by one. Live at the O2. Let's get it.
Let me into my zone. Let me into my zone.
Dillian White and Oscar Rivas headlines a card stacked with heavyweights next weekend, including Dave Allen, David Price, and Derek Chisora, exclusively on Dazn.
Here we're going to see an uppercut landed by Madiyev. Beautiful right uppercut right there, and a right hand later in the round by Madiyev. Boom, right on the button, but you got to hand it to Ricky Sismundo. He's taking these shots well and keeps punching.
Round 3 here. Scheduled for 8. Ruslan Madiyev, the favorite, but Sismundo, the veteran, has brought the fight right to the man from Kazakhstan. Madiyev ending a 10-month layoff tonight, matching the longest of his career. Also training with a new trainer now, so let's see if the new and improved Madiyev is better than the old Madiyev. Sergey, I know you had the same trainer your whole career, but I'm sure at times you worked with other guys. What's the transition like when you're under a new trainer?
You know, nobody knows you better than your original trainer, but when you're dealing with fighters from Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, when they have so much amateur pedigree, they can really go with any trainer and flourish because they have that much amateur experience.
Boy, some big overhand rights from Madiyev. Sismundo just taking them.
Yeah, and it's from the southpaw stance. Madiyev is throwing those right hooks from a southpaw stance.
He is sitting down on those punches.
Yeah, he is.
Which obviously gives your opponent a chance to counter.
Joel Diaz wants Ruslan to come forward, back up Sismundo. That he thinks that Sismundo can't fight going backwards. He can only fight being the aggressor and attack the body.
Got off balance there.
See, when you're dealing with tough fighters like this with 45, 50 fights like Sismundo, You got to take it out of them with either embarrassing them, with outclassing them, or with body shots, or making them feel old.
Oh, big right again from Madiyev, who has certainly not thrown too many jabs tonight. He's all power punches.
No, that's Sismundo's forte. He knows it's head movement. He's short. He doesn't rely on the jab. He likes to get inside and work.
Well, I meant Madiyev. He's not throwing a jab either.
Well, he's not throwing jabs because he's landing pretty much everything, every looping shot from around. The right hooks, left hooks, body shots.
There's another one.
So when you're landing, I mean, you're going to keep throwing those same shots, but it's the straight shots that are going to be more effective than the looping shots. See those looping shots right there? They need to be set up by straight shots. You know, the jab, double jab, jabs downstairs, right hand downstairs, but straight shots. Then you can come around the gloves and catch them off guard, just like that. But you got to set them up with straight shots. Good body shot there by Madiyev. Madiyev stayed in that southpaw angle and turns back into the conventional.
Counter right there from Ruslan.
Sulod nimo ba body mula ba na sa right hand pirmi ba idak gyud ang imong ulo guard ka ba ang body upper ha pagsulod ka idak gyud imong ulo push a little bit mula ba sa right push a little bit more okay push it
Come on. Here we're going to see the replays, and it's all Ruslan Madiyev coming forward, throwing punches, right hooks from the southpaw stance. Body shots, left hooks, right hooks, turning southpaw to the conventional. Very effective with the looping shots, but Joel Diaz wants more body shots and more straight shots.
Let's go, Ruslan.
Sismundo was knocked out in his last fight by undefeated prospect Maxim Dadashev out of Russia, but Sismundo did manage to drop Dadashev in that fight. So even if you're able to get a win over Sismundo, it's gonna be where you have to come through some trouble, some trials and tribulations. Certainly the first 2 rounds, Sismundo held his own. Sergio, do you sense that Madiyev is starting to pull away now?
Well, I mean, we know who the A-side is here, and Madiyev is definitely the more polished fighter, but when you have a veteran like Ricky Sismundo with almost 50 fights, fought around the world, you always got to give him a chance because he's gritty. He's always going to be in there, cagey, wanting to win, wanting to land punches and land in between shots, even when he's outsped and outgunned.
Stop. Don't bring him down. He'll hit you low.
Do Joel Diaz fighters have a certain type of style?
Well, we mentioned that in the fighter meeting. He has a stable of Kazakhstan fighters, Uzbekistan fighters, and Mexican fighters. And surprisingly, all 3 of them have the same style. It's Mexican style, but they like to, they don't want just to go in there with head first, you know, take 1 shot to land 2. They have technique. They like fighting behind the jab. And of course, body shots, especially that left hook to the liver. So yes, I just think that the excellent sparring they have out there with all types of fighters from around the world out there in India is just as best and as good as it gets.
There's really nowhere quite like Southern California right now to train. All the international stars come to you.
Combination, Ruslan. 1, 2, 3 to the body. 1, 2, 3 to the body.
You know, I used to get away and train in Big Bear. We had a cabin up in Big Bear, and I used to love going out there for the altitude, but it's more the isolation, you know. So when you're in Indio, you might not be in the mountains, but you still have the isolation. And when you're training with Antonio Diaz, Julio Diaz, and of course Joel Diaz, you got 3 of the best boxing minds in your corner, so it's a win-win.
Sismundo now on the front foot again, where he's much more comfortable, but there's Ruslan with a counter left hook. And Sismundo has eaten so many power punches in this fight.
And that's the reason he keeps getting the phone call to fight around the world. Like you mentioned earlier, Todd, 9 different countries. So, you know, no pun intended, but Sismundo, mundo means world in Spanish, so he fights around the mundo.
And now having a good moment.
And he takes a good shot, Sismundo does. He got caught with a left hook right there, and he took it well, keeps coming forward.
What do you think drives a guy like Sismundo to keep fighting at the age of 32? He travels the world getting fights. He's fought over 50 times. Obviously, he's not going to get a world title shot anytime soon.
Well, of course, money, but aside from that, it only takes one upset for you to get a big fight and a big payday, so that's what drives him. If he's only been stopped 5 times in almost 50 fights, that's a pretty good track record.
Stop. You tired? Huh? What happened? What happened? Hey, ask him what's happening.
Ты себя нормально чувствуешь, Pat? Huh? Yeah.
He's tired?
No, he's fine, he said.
Hey, you need to throw more punches.
Yeah, выбрасывай удары, выбрасывай.
Come on. Hey, you can't stay right there. You have to combination. Okay?
And here's the replay. Madiyev landing nice body shot, which has been the most effective shot in my opinion. That's been the punch that really has caught Sismundo's attention, but that overhand right, Sismundo coming back with punches of his own, missing, taking good punishment there, but he keeps coming, Sismundo does.
Rocha, step back.
Joel Diaz very animated in the corner there, Sergio. He asked the translator to ask Ruslan, are you tired? What's wrong? Ruslan replied, nothing. And Diaz said, well, then throw some more punches.
Yeah, Diaz wants more punches, and he wants to back up Ricky Sismundo as well, because you don't want the shorter fighter pushing the taller fighter back. It just looks bad for one, but you're not going to be effective with your punches if you're Madiyev. So that's why you should push back the fighter with some jabs and, of course, straight punches.
I know you're not actually doing the score here, Sergio, but what does this feel like as we enter round 5 here?
No, I think it's all Madiyev. He's landed the convincing shots, especially to the body. If anything, I would probably give Sismundo 1 round, but he's gritty, he's cagey, he's in every round. I mean, maybe that's why Ruslan Madiyev is not throwing the punches that Joel Diaz wants, because he might be feeling the power of Sismundo.
Not to mention it's very hot here, very bright, sunny. You're probably used to this heat in the gym, depending on where you're trained, but come fight night, usually you're in an arena that the temperature is about 70 degrees.
No, that's a good point, Todd, because usually we're under bright lights in the dark. We can't really see the crowd, but yeah, it's air conditioned, and of course you start sweating once you start throwing the punches. But right here you got the glaring heat. It's difficult.
Madiyev told us with his conditioning, he usually excels in the later rounds, but according to his own corner, he seemed to have slowed down there in round 4.
Yeah. Joel Diaz is getting a little frustrated. He wants to back up Sismundo with the straight punches, not the looping punches. Every time Madiyev throws the looping punches, he's shadow boxing, he's missing. And that takes it out of your legs. When you throw a punch just like that and you don't connect on nothing, it takes away the strength from your legs, because you're used to punching something when you're training. You're punching a heavy bag, mitts, sparring partner, but you don't train to miss.
Stop. Step back.
Madiyev from Kazakhstan, now living and training in Los Angeles. I know you grew up very poor, Sergio. You became a world champion. What's that transition like from when you're sleeping in a 1-bedroom house with all your friends and family? Well, there's a left hand there from Madiyev, or at least all your family. Your friends didn't come over that much, I'm sure. But, you're training with rudimentary objects when you're training a busted-up heavy bag. And then someone like Madiyev, who I'm sure came from poverty in Kazakhstan, is now getting world-class training in world-class gyms, eating food prepared by a nutritionist. How does that crossover work?
Well, real quickly, you'll never get to see a world champion that grew up like you, Todd, all right? Because hunger comes from poverty.
Time.
Virgil Ortiz and Antonio Orozco, August 10th from Grand Prairie, Texas, live on Dazn.
These guys don't have no power no more.
Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go 10 rounds, hypothetically. There's Alexis Rocha as he squares off against Berlin Abreu. That fight coming up next, the final fight on our undercard, main card, starting tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Right now, round 6. It's been a pretty good one between Ruslan Madiyev and Ricky Sismundo.
Yeah, it's a good one for us, but Joel Diaz in Madiyev's corner, he's admonishing this fighter, saying, what's the matter with you? You need to throw punches. Why aren't you punching? Push him back, get behind the jab, land those body shots.
There you go. Come on, combinations, Ruslan.
He wants more combinations, as you can probably hear him on your TV screen, but he's screaming at his fighter, more combinations.
What do you want to see more from Sismundo?
He just needs to continue doing what he's doing. He's punching from odd angles. He tries to punch in between shots. That's why I keep saying that, but that's a skill. That's a veteran skill, because you know you can't keep up with the timing and the technique and the speed from the better fighter. So you just wait for the right shot, and usually it's in between a combination. And Sismundo is doing that.
Madiyev just 26 years old, 6 years younger than Sismundo. But Sismundo has had 38 more professional fights.
Stop. Ricky, pick it up. Hands up.
Good uppercut.
Nice punches there for Sismundo. Not a lot behind him, but they are scoring.
Jab right again. Right there. Set it up.
Sergio, I don't know. I think Sismundo might be doing a little better on the judges' scorecards than some might believe, just considering his output. When and the judges hear what we hear, they hear the trainer Joel Diaz yelling at his fighter to throw more punches. You don't think that's subliminally in the back of their mind?
No, absolutely. I mean, whenever you hear a corner yelling and admonishing their fighter and really urging them to do more, it sticks to the referee and the judges' minds, because they feel like they're not following their game plan. They're a little bit desperate. Even though he is in control of the fight, they're not doing what they trained to do.
Sismundo started out fighting at featherweight, that's 126 pounds, but his last 10 fights have been at junior welterweight, 140 pounds or higher. So that's a 14-pound difference.
I remember my trainer used to tell me, I love it when the fighter, your opponent, when their trainer starts yelling instructions, and everyone is yelling instructions how to beat you. That's when you know you got your man beat. When you have the trainers, the coaches, the cut men, fans trying to boost up their man and teach their man what punches to throw. And I'm just picking them apart with jabs and right hands and doing my thing, and my trainer doesn't really have to talk that much. That's when you know you're firing on all cylinders.
Stop.
Also, let us not forget, Diaz does not speak the same language as Madiyev, so a lot of the things he's saying to him, he's trying to be very animated.
Stop.
Tell him almost with body language.
That's a good point.
Hey, Ricky, it's round 7, Ricky. It's only 2 more, okay? This one and the next one, okay, Ricky? Do it with the heart, man. With the heart, man. With the heart for me, okay? Put your hand down. Relax.
Betting.
You continue.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, can you sit
No
down?
problem. Betting.
One more round, guys.
No, one more round.
Faltan más. Son faltan 2.
One more round. Two more. Bay, mas veteran ka ni Bay. Sunod lang sa imo. Tayo lang imo pirmi right.
With the heart, man. It's you can get it. It's fire already.
Okay. Let's go, Ruslan. Let's go.
So there's 2 rounds left. I don't know what's going on in these corners, but I think they know there's 2 rounds left as we enter round 7 here. We're scheduled for 8. Ricky Sismundo.
Joel Diaz in Madiyev's corner really scolding and getting into their fighter, saying that Sismundo is not on your level. Let's go. What's the matter? Why are you holding on? Let your hands go.
Hey, stop. Joel Diaz got some skin in this game as well. This is his first fight with Madiyev. You know, as a trainer with a lot of pride, people are going to look at this performance and say, you're with Joel Diaz? This is what That's the best you got?
Critics are going to be critics, but it's very hard to get the chemistry of a fighter trainer in one fight. Usually it takes a couple fights for that, so I'm not going to read too much into that. But I can definitely understand the frustration on Joel Diaz's part, because he does have a fighter that he could be more successful with if he backs him up. But all night, all day, Sismundo's been backing up and punching in between the shots and making it difficult for Madiyev.
Do you think Sismundo's right shoulder is still bothering him? There was some concerns earlier in this fight.
It's a great point. Yeah, you know, earlier they're going to stop the fight because they thought that maybe he dislocated a shoulder, but he's fighting like a fighter that has no worries. Coming forward, he may be losing these rounds, but he's in this fight showing that he's gritty, he's cagey, and getting some respect.
Madiyev has been past 7 rounds only twice, an 8-round decision over Abel Ramirez and a 10-round decision win over Jesus Perez.
Stop. Push him down. Don't. Box.
You know, if Sismundo could win these last 2 rounds, Sergio, who knows?
He's made him close, that's for sure. Good shot right there by Sismundo. Counter left hand.
And then an uppercut. Sismundo having some success here in round 7.
Break clean.
As the California sun continues to blaze down on the fighters here in Carson.
And Sismundo blazing with a combination right there. Left, right, hooks right there, dodging the punches. This is definitely a Ricky Sismundo round.
Stop. Ricky, you're holding, okay? Box.
Well, Sismundo's only been knocked down 4 times in his career. Quite impressive considering he's had over 50 pro fights.
Stop. Don't push him. Box.
Do you think it's simply that Madiyev is just tired?
They kept asking him in his corner. Joel Diaz was asking, are you tired? What's the matter? Why aren't you punching? But when you're dealing with a fighter with head movement and foot movement like Sismundo, it's very difficult to track him down. You have to be patient and fight behind the jab. Punch at the body. The body's not going to move.
Last round, buddy. Last round. We got it. He's tired. He's tired. Get here.
Let him breathe, man. Let him breathe. Ha!
Oh, shit.
Ha! Push here, Francisco. Push here. Ha! 1, 2, 3. Ha!
And here's a replay. Sismundo coming right back at Madiyev with a left, right flurry. That one landed right on the chin right there. Made Madiyev back up. Sismundo seeing red coming forward. That was a good round for Ricky Sismundo.
With the heart. Come on. You can do it. You can knock it down. Easy. Come on. Do it.
Hey, last round. Finish him. Let's go.
Let's go, gentlemen.
Touch him out. Ricky, touch him out.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Good luck.
Box.
8th and final round, Sergio. Who do you have winning this fight right now?
Well, I'll tell you what, Sismundo had some good, he had success in the last 2-3 rounds, and there's some desperation in Joel Diaz's voice in the corner of Madiyev. He said, this is the last round, you have to finish him. If you're ahead on the cards comfortably, you don't tell your boxer that, especially in the last round. You want to cruise into a decision, but they probably sense that Sismundo is in this fight.
Break clean.
It would certainly be a big step back for Madiyev, who many felt could be a future world champion. In his last fight, suffered his first loss due to a cut. He's 12-1 now. But if you get back-to-back losses at this stage of your career, it's almost like go back to the drawing board, isn't it?
Well, maybe not the drawing board, but definitely it's a humbling experience where you have to go backwards. Yes, you have to go back to the simple things. I mean, you can only throw 6 punches in boxing. Jab, straight hand, left, right hook, uppercuts, right? So go back to the drawing board with the simple stuff, the 1, 2, 3s. Mix it up. Foot movement, head movement.
Stop. Holding. Step back. You're holding. Let's go.
Another thing to note, Ruslan Madiyev has never had a knockout past the 4th round.
Stop. No push it. No push it. Box.
See, all night he's been looping those shots, and those shots aren't going to land with a veteran like Ricky Sismundo. It's a straight shots. It's frustrating him behind the jab. Body shots, pushing him back, which is something that Madiyev hasn't done. He's let Sismundo push him back.
No punches.
And that sometimes looks bad for the judges. So, like we talked about earlier, maybe the judges are liking the fact that Sismundo is pushing Madiyev back.
Boy, Madiyev, or rather, Sismundo's bringing everything he's got. Sometimes he finishes his combinations and he's on one foot. He's swinging so hard.
He's a tough fighter, Ricky Sismundo. Right there, they clashed heads accidentally. He didn't even complain. He didn't look at the referee. He just kept fighting. That's a grizzly veteran there for you.
Pretty evenly matched fight. Nice job by the matchmakers here at Golden Boy. You know, great toughness being shown by Sismundo, especially when you consider his shoulder may have come out of socket in the second round. Nice combination there by the Philippine fighter, answered by a counter right from Madiyev.
And that look in Ricky Sismundo's face hasn't left.
Hey.
Determined, angry, frustrated look in Sismundo's face, but
don't push. Listen to the bell.
Still in this fight.
So an entertaining fight between Madiyev and Sismundo, but they will not be celebrating in Ruslan's corner at all, at least not yet. This will go to a decision. And Sergio, what does your gut tell you?
Well, my gut tells me that Madiyev should pull off this fight, but a split decision is definitely conceivable here, because I think Sismundo did enough to win 3-4 rounds in my opinion.
Maybe a draw. Here's some action from that final round between Madiyev and Sismundo. And Sismundo did go down after that left hand, but it was because of a trip here in a moment. I think you'll see her push.
And here's the push right here. Right shoulder pushed Sismundo down. No knockdown there.
Want me to pop it back in? That's good. I do overhand. Yeah. Want me to pop it back in? That's good.
So the man who trains with Manny Pacquiao putting on a pretty solid performance here in Carson, California, but was it enough to knock off the Kazakhstan prospect Ruslan Madiyev? Joe Martinez with the scorecards. And we will throw it to him right now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards, and here are the totals. Kevin Scott scores at 79-73. Max DeLuca and Hubert Min both have it 78-74. All for your winner by unanimous decision, Ruslan Madiyev.
Ruslan Madiyev with the unanimous decision. The judges had it 79-73 and 78-74 twice. Wasn't as close as we thought. Sismundo, I think, deserved a little bit more credit. Let's take a look at the highlights here by Sismundo and Madiyev. Sismundo put the pressure the entire fight, coming forward, but the cleaner shots landed by Ruslan Madiyev. Good uppercut there by Madiyev. A frustrated trainer in his corner, and Joel Diaz wanting him to push Sismundo back, but it was just tough to push the shorter, stronger fighter back. Sismundo was punching really well in between the shots. Madiyev with right hands and left hands, turning southpaw. A little frustration on his part. Even when he landed cleanly, Sismundo took these shots. It could really be discouraging for a fighter when you have a fighter with over 50 fights that could take all your punches, just like that left hook right there, and Sismundo keeps coming back with lefts and rights of his own. And now we throw it to Todd Grisham, and he's there with Ruslan Madiyev.
All right, here with Ruslan Madiyev. Congratulations on the win. It seemed like it was a little harder for you than maybe some thought. What did you think?
Тебя поздравляет, во-первых, и говорит, кажется, твоя победа была немножко тяжелее, чем предполагали, ты сам предполагал.
Да, хочу сказать спасибо большое, в первую очередь. Альхамдулилля. Хочу спасибо большое сказать моему советнику Ибрагиму Хараеву. И Диего, большое спасибо, что взял меня в команду Golden Boy. После своего последнего боя, мой бой был в сентябре в прошлом году, поэтому слишком много стоял я. И к этому бою только 3 недели готовился. Но следующий бой я обещаю добавить с тренером Джоэл Диасом. Спасибо большое ему и его брату Антонио.
Yeah, he said thank you to all people who are with me, and he's happy to be a part of Golden Boy now. And last fight was against Kanu 9 months ago, so he was away from boxing and he has only 2 weeks of training, but that's why he felt not comfortable. But when you go for full camp for 2 months, then he'll be okay with Joel Diaz. And I want to say thank you to Joel and his brother Antonio.
Let's hear from Joel. You were very animated in the corner. You wanted him to throw more punches. How would you rate his performance?
Well, I rate his performance was not one of the greatest, but he did what he had to do. And when they called me to help him the last 2 weeks, I didn't know how much work he did before those 2 weeks, and really he didn't do nothing. So basically, 2 weeks of training, and I pushed him really hard. I expected more from him tonight, but knowing that he was out for 9 months, and now coming into a full camp, you'll see a different Ruslan.
All right, we're all counting on you. Good luck.
Oh, definitely. I guarantee you'll see a different Ruslan with a full camp.
All right, Joel Diaz and Ruslan Madiyev, congratulations, guys. And now we get set for our next fight involving Alexis Rocha, who spoke earlier to our very own Beto Duran.
13-0, Alexis Rocha. How many knockouts?
8 knockouts.
But who's counting, right?
Yeah, who's counting?
Exactly. You fought here before. You fought on the same card as your brother, Ronnie Rios, before. You still get nervous, or are you just used to this?
I mean, I'm used to fighting, as I've been doing this all my life. But when Ronnie gets in there, it's a whole different story.
And after your fight, you'll be in Ronnie's corner?
Yes, I'll be going up with them.
Now, I saw you guys have T-shirts that say Hermanos Rios and Rocha, the unity, the bond you guys have. Yeah. This camp was different because you guys actually trained together, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've always trained together, but it's just different when you're in training camp with them, when you're in the same fight date. So we're just training together the whole time.
First time that you're on Dazn. For people who haven't seen you before, 13-0, 8 knockouts, what kind of fighter are you?
Man, I'm a very aggressive fighter, but intelligent, man. If you guys tune in Dazn, you guys will find out.
Well, they're watching this right now, or worldwide right now. Alexis Rocha, check him out. Coming up soon. Back to you, Todd.
Welcome to Change Up, our first night of action. Hey, who's who opening week, Adnan? Who should be the face of baseball? It should be Javi Baez. El Mago, this guy is so much fun to watch. I like his tags.
Chris Davis, I'm calling my shot. Chris Davis is going to go yard. Go, 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 go! Yes!
No more talk. Let the kids host.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. Hater #1, courtesy of Mark Cannon.
And Alonso with a drive to center. That ball's out of here. First home run for Alonso.
Pitch, please. Get out the way, pitch.
Lucas Giolito, the man of the hour, in his AirPods.
Yeah, welcome to the show, boys.
You say on the ground, looks like you're in the sky there. They couldn't get you better seats?
Did you count that? That was 1, 2.5, maybe 3 rotations on the epic bat flip. And I do not use that word lightly.
We are live here on Dazn, 2 fights down, plenty more to come, including our next fight here on the undercard. Alexis Rocha, undefeated, taking on 14-2 Berlin Abreu. It's a 10-rounder in the welterweight division. Todd Grisham ringside, as always, next to the Latin snake, Sergio Mora. Sergio, what do you expect to see in this fight?
Well, I really like the development of Alexis Rocha. He's a strong puncher, a patient puncher, a southpaw, which makes him more dangerous. But he's been developing really well. I mean, he takes his time, even when he has opponents hurt. I mean, he has power, 8 knockouts and 13 wins, undefeated, confident, and his brother's also fighting on this card as well, Ronnie Rios. So they've been pushing each other in camp. So this is just a motivated young man, knows what he has to do, has a very tough fighter that can punch in front of him in Abreu. I expect big things, and I don't think it's going to be lasting the distance.
Yeah, Ronnie Rios fighting later tonight against Diego De La Hoya, the second cousin of Oscar De La Hoya. So he trained with his brother. How nice is it for you to go through an entire camp with someone, blood, sweat, and tears every night and every morning?
Oh, well, actually, I mentioned that in the fighter meeting. It's good to have a whippet, someone that pushes you, especially if it's a younger fighter. If it's a younger fighter, especially if it's your brother. So if you have kin there, you have a bloodline, you have that family hunger. So yeah, man, anytime you have someone that's younger than you, pushing you like that, a power puncher like that, when you're no veteran, it's all great.
Yeah, we have 2 sets of brothers tonight. We've got Alexis Rocha and Ronnie Rios, and then earlier tonight, Jose Gonzalez winning his fight, and Joet Gonzalez will be fighting later tonight against Manuel Avila. There's Berlin Abreu. What does he need to do to win this fight?
Well, Abreu has good pop in his punches. He has 11 knockouts and 14 wins. He's a hard puncher in both hands, so he wants to actually get out of the early rounds, because Rocha does start off fast, and he has a good body attack, so he wants to avoid that. Fight behind the jab, get out of the early rounds, get some confidence, go into the later rounds, and you got to do what you got to do in there. But yeah, he has to punch around the shots of Rocha.
You know, you fought in this arena before. What's the difference between fighting here and in just a normal, everyday arena?
That's a big difference. One, I can see everybody, so right now it's still filling in, but you can see when the crowd is there, and normally you can't do that when you're fighting in an arena. It's dark. All you see is lights and the fighter in front of you, so that's always a different thing for you. You know, it's open. You could hear, it's not too loud. The crescendo of the sound doesn't stay inside either, so you could hear people kind of whispering or bad-mouthing you. It's just a different element fighting in an arena like this.
All right, coming up at the top of the hour, our main card starts. Rocky Hernandez, the first fight on that card, and then, of course, our main event, Ray Vargas taking on Tomoki Kameda, a 12-rounder for the WBC Super Bantamweight Championship. Plenty of action still to come, but let's now send it into the ring for the final fight of our undercard, and Joe Martinez. Oh, excuse me, no, we're going to go backstage one more time to Beto Duran. Hey, Beto.
Way to the ring right now. Rocha's very interesting. He started off really well in his career, knocking everybody out. They stepped him up in competition, and then he was going rounds. Roberto Diaz, Golden Boy matchmaker, just spoke with him, and he said tonight's match is to see what he's looking like. They like him a lot. They want to move him a little bit faster, but he's still a little bit green. Tonight's test, if he knocks him out, Roberto said he can definitely move him really quick this year. Back to you, Todd.
That was Beto Duran. He's with us all night long, roving backstage. He'll be taking over the in-ring interviews later tonight when our main card starts here at the Dignity Health Sports Arena. Now it's the welterweights as unbeaten Alexis Rocha will take on Berlin Abreu. We're not quite ready for that fight, so we'll give you a chance to show you some of the biggest and best upsets we've seen on Dazn this year. Look at this from Anthony Young. He is not playing games. Has he stopped it? It is over! An absolute stunner here in Las Vegas. Oh, right hand, and down he goes. Another right hand, and down goes Linares. Second knockdown of the fight. Third knockdown of the first round. The question here is, can he survive? Linares wobbling backwards, and it's over. It's over. And this one's done in one.
Rojas is a 4-1 favorite. Zushan only 17 pro fights. Look at that. It's like a six-punch combination by Sean.
Oh, look at that.
Sean with the flurry.
We know why they call Sushan the monster. He's having a scary performance.
I'm just stunned. I'm stunned.
Rules, the man regarded by most to be the best heavyweight in the world.
15-1 favorite to defend his titles. Ruiz mixes it up. Good uppercut and a hook. Puts Ruiz down. Wow, that was fast from Joshua. Ruiz comes to fire back, and Joshua's hurt. Oh, Joshua goes down. What an answer by Ruiz. Oh, here comes Ruiz. Has Joshua hurt in the corner? Joshua is hurt. He's staggered, and he goes down again. That's a knockdown. Man, trying to answer, but he's shaking. He's down again. Wow. He's been down 4 times. So tired. I think he wants out. That's it. He says that's it. Andy Ruiz is the heavyweight champion.
No one will remember, will never forget where they were the night of Ruiz and Joshua. I was there in the arena. The rematch coming soon, November or December, we're hearing. Not quite sure on exactly where, but we know it's coming later here in 2019. Now to more live fights, ladies and gentlemen. It's our final bout on the undercard. Alexis Rocha and Berlin Abreu.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Next bout tonight, 10 rounds of action. A welterweight title on the line. Making his way first to the ring, the challenger from Bronx, New York. Here is Berlin Abreu.
Berlin Abreu making the trip here to Southern California. Big fight in his career, Sergio. What does he have to do to beat someone that's never been beaten before?
It's going to be a tough task for Berlin Abreu, but he does have pop behind those punches. 11 knockouts and 14 wins. He can't catch it, Rocha. Rocha's still learning in there. Body shots, I would think, are going to be key here for Abreu, but Rocha is an excellent puncher to the body himself.
And his opponent ready to make his entrance, fighting out of the red corner, undefeated champion from Santana, California. Here is Rocha.
All smiles in the fighter meeting. He says he's never felt better coming off a win. In fact, all of his fights have been wins. He's never been beaten. A crowd favorite here tonight. What do you expect to see from him, Sergio?
I just really like Alexis Rocha. Like I mentioned earlier, he's developing the right way. He's fighting the right fighters at the right time. He's a patient puncher. He knows how to time and place his shots. I mean, that takes a lot of discipline for young fighters, but they're moving him really well. He has tremendous power in both hands. Very disciplined young prospect here in Alexis Rocha.
Rocha, just 22 years old, 5'10". He is a southpaw, nicknamed Lex. His trainer is Hector Lopez. As for the man on your right, Berlin Abreu, he's 27, born in Puerto Rico, fighting out of the Dominican Republic. Here is Joe Martinez.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the action continues from here inside of Dignity Health Sports Park, Carson, California. 10 rounds this scheduled for the WBC Continental America's Welterweight Championship. Under the supervision of WBC supervisor in attendance, Travis Ford, your 3 judges scoring this bout at ringside: Carla Caiz, Dr. Lou Moret, and Alejandro Rochin. When the action begins inside the ring, your referee in charge, Jack Reeves. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, the challenger. Wearing black trunks, he weighed in officially 145 1/2 pounds. In 16 professional bouts, his record, 14 victories, 2 defeats, 11 wins by way of knockout. Fighting out of Bronx, New York, by way of Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, here is Berlin, the Rock, Abreu! And across the ring stands his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue and silver trimmed in the flag of Mexico and the USA. He weighed in officially 145 3/4 pounds, and in 13 professional bouts, he is perfect. 13 victories. Coming by way of knockout, he is the reigning, defending WBC Continental America's welterweight champion from Santa Ana, California, the undefeated Alexis Rocha.
Mouthpiece. Oh, play Rocha. Again. This is a little bit high right here. I saw him push him down, so I'm going to let him work right in here. Okay? I gave you both instructions in the dressing room. I want to remind you to listen and obey my commands at all times. Escúchame. Protect yourself at all times. Pelea duro, pelea limpio, toca la mano.
Alexis Rocha, an aggressive southpaw, not really a whirlwind brawler, but he will get right in your face. Taking on Berlin Abreu, 14-2 with 11 knockouts. Not much known about him until he fought Irish middleweight Gary Spike O'Sullivan in this very venue last year. His corner stopped the fight after 3 rounds. He hasn't fought since then.
And that always stays in a fighter's mind. If you got stopped, knocked out in a venue, in a similar venue, in the same venue, that always sticks to you.
That was May last year. It's now July and very warm. Rocha looks a lot bigger in there, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. When Abreu fought Gary O'Sullivan here last year, actually he said he wasn't a full middleweight. He was more comfortable in the lighter weights, and right here he's fighting Rocha at 145.
Rocha loves throwing that left hand, predicted an early knockout, but he hasn't had a KO in over a year. Grazing left hand there. But Rocha goes downstairs in an uppercut as Abreu tries to fight back.
That's what I really like about Rocha. It's the body shots and the patience, how poised he is, looking for the right shots. He doesn't waste punches.
Jack Reese letting him fight.
Pull your arm out, Alexis. All right, stop. Everybody stop. Might break. Don't hit him on the when you're holding his head down. Let him go.
Abreu has only beaten 1 fighter with a winning record. That was David Peralta, who was 26-2-1. Used to fight at middleweight, now at a more comfortable weight where he can be more effective as he goes to the body against Rocha.
Yeah, Rocha really digging into those shots. I mean, he's really focusing on those body works. He's not even concentrating on the body right now. I mean, on the head right now. He wants to get that early body investment in.
Suéltelo. Suéltelo. Berlin, suéltelo. Berlin. Stop. Hey, escúchame, you're holding with this hand. Box.
Nice body work again from Rocha. And then an uppercut backs Abreu up.
Rocha has got sparring with superstars like Canelo Alvarez and Mikey Garcia, and when you spar superstars like that, get in the ring with them, you have to learn from them. And you got 2 great fighters in Alvarez and Garcia that are patient, poised punchers as well. So Rocha's taking a page out of those greatness.
Rocha coming off a 10-round unanimous decision win over Japan's Shoki Saku. That was in April of this year in Indio, California. His best win on paper, but he was not happy with that performance. Called it a learning experience.
Stop. Time.
Muy bien. How you feel? Fucking beautiful shot. Hey, clean his nose up. Dame. Ya está. Nomás cuando estés adentro, step around him. Spit it all out. Watch his head, cabrón. Watch his head. Spit it out. You get it, Lex. Otra vez. How you feel? ¿Cómo lo sientes? Okay.
You got your arm tucked under. I say, pull it out. Get out of there, right?
Respira.
Breathe. Take a deep breath. Breathe in some water. You're doing good.
Go deep breath.
Okay, don't hold him with this hand. Move to the sides. Don't stand still. So you're ready to go.
Let's go.
We know what we can do.
Muy buen trabajo.
Good job, good job, good job.
Hold up.
Round 2 here scheduled for 10 between Alexis Rocha and Berlin Abreu.
Hector Lopez in Alexis Rocha's corner wants him to spin Abreu around, get some pivots and some angles, and watch the headbutts.
You know, it's interesting. Abreu describes himself as having Mexican style, even though he was born in Puerto Rico and now lives in the Dominican Republic.
Well, a lot of different schools of thought there in boxing and brawling and fighting, but those are 3 excellent schools. But can he implement what he learned? That's a different story there, because right now Rocha is digging to his body. I don't know how much longer he can take those body shots.
Rocha said he got into boxing to lose weight. He was 11 years old, 205 pounds when he was 11, Sergio. Have you ever weighed 205 pounds?
Never.
I have, but not anymore. Working on my dad bod every day.
Suéltelo, Berlin, suéltelo.
Right hand there for Rocha, whose half-brother will fight later tonight in their co-main event against Diego De La Hoya.
Abreu fighting nicely against the ropes. Rocha still looking for that solid body shot. He's looking for that one clean body shot.
Suéltelo, Berlin. Put your arm out, Alexis.
Smothering his punches right now, not really wanting to fight behind the jab. He's comfortable in the inside, looking to dissect Abreu with some body shots and uppercuts.
Fatigue certainly a factor here in this Los Angeles heat today.
Not only the sun and the heat, but those body shots, they'll take the wind out of you.
Currently in the mid-80s right now. Feels hotter than that.
Box.
See those 3 shots that Alexis Rocha landed right there? Those are good shots, but then you need to get in an angle where Abreu's not expecting the same punches from the same trajectory. You want to get them from a different angle, and that's what his trainer Hector Lopez wants.
Do you like Rocha trying to fight this inside style?
I mean, I like it if it's effective, but it's giving Berlin Abreu to actually some confidence in there, because he's landing his own shots as well. Even though Rocha is getting the better of it with the body shots, Abreu is still countering back. And when you're that close, like they mentioned in Rocha's corner, you can have accidental headbutts. So you definitely don't want to headbutt and get cut and have to get suspended and not continue fighting and stay active. Good right hook by Rocha.
Nice shot, and now Abreu backed up against the ropes. Seemed like he wasn't phased too much, though.
Stop punching.
And that'll do it for round 2.
Keep breaking out. Start doubling it now.
Cannot wait for that super lightweight showdown, July 27th, exclusively on Dazn.
Here we see a low blow by Rocha.
3. Tres.
Coming forward, landing some good shots.
Hold on. One momento. Pelea.
Rocha said he was going to seek and destroy, wanted an early stoppage, but right now Abreu not letting him land the power punches that he wants.
He said he wanted to seek and destroy and put his punches together, but it starts off with a jab. He told us that it starts off with a jab, and right now he's ignoring the jab. He wants to get inside with the smaller Abreu.
Well, as we talked about at the top of the show, Sergio, this arena, this location, this venue sometimes brings out the monster side of guys. They don't just want to win boxing matches, they want to win fights.
Yes, it does.
You know, we saw this style recently with Guillermo Rigondeaux, a fighter who was always criticized for being too boring. But his last fight, he stood right on the inside, much like this, and went toe-to-toe.
Yeah, there's a big difference here. Rigondeaux is not 22 years old like Alexis Rocha. Usually,
there's a right hand.
When you have great champions and their legs start failing, they're forced to sit down and fight. They can't move like they used to when they were younger.
Good point. Rocha only 22 years old. He should be floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee, shouldn't he?
Well, I mean, he has a smaller fighter in front of him. I could see him wanting to walk down the fighter, but he's not using the jab. That's the one thing that's been missing in his arsenal. He's not fighting behind the jab, and he's getting too close with head clashes for my liking. I don't like how close his head is. An accidental headbutt happening there, an elbow. You don't need that if you're the taller, bigger, stronger fighter.
Downstairs
so
goes Rocha again.
30-second one that they want, the one take. That's going to be the first one. Then I'll stop, and then after that, we'll do the full-on minute interview.
Rocha having success with body shots on the right side and the left side. Expect some uppercuts now. He's setting up those uppercuts.
That one right on the belt line. To the body again goes Rocha. 8 knockouts in his 13 wins.
Good left hook there by Abreu.
Basically guaranteed us a knockout here this afternoon. Still plenty of time to do that. Round 3, scheduled 10. Oh, nice left, splitting the guard. Let's listen in to Berlin Abreu's corner.
How do you feel? How do you feel, papi? How do you feel, papi? You want some water? Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
Yes, that's good.
Is this normal for him?
Yeah.
Stand like this? Yeah?
Yeah.
¿Está bien?
Sí, él está bien. Está muy bien.
Yeah, he is really good. He is good.
¿Cómo estamos? Vamos, cógeme aire, vamos.
Here we see Alexis Rocha banging away with a flurry of punches, but does not forget the body, which he's been landing solid body shots every single round. But Abreu, here we have him later in the round, digging downstairs to the body. Abreu taking these shots well.
You could hear the translation, the trainer Belvin Garcia asking Berlin Abreu, how's it going? And he said he's really, really good. Talking about Alexis Rocha. Do you like that kind of honesty from a fighter in the corner?
Yeah, of course. You always want to be honest with your trainer and your fighter. Look at those beautiful body shots. The only thing I see right here, I would love for him to get an angle. Abreu's already felt that power from that angle right there. Get on the side of them. That way you can touch him in the shoulders and the ribs. Anywhere else, just get outside of the front.
Pull it out, Alexis. Berlin, let it go, Berlin. Let this arm go. Let him go. Berlin, let him go.
Rocha not really wanting to get out of the phone booth and extend his arms at all. Content just to stay inside and bang.
Yeah, it's like a sparring session for Alexis Rocha in there. He just needs to avoid the headbutt because it clashes the heads. You don't want to get a cut. But yeah, this is easy work for him inside. He's in there with a smaller man digging away to the body. But Berlin Abreu, he's absorbing these shots well. I mean, he's in there for a reason because he can still take these shots.
He's just wanting to grind Abreu down. Nothing flashy, just continuing to land on the inside. There's a nice 1, 2, 3, straight left hand.
And Abreu responding. I mean, he's more than happy to go in there and exchange with Rocha in the inside. I mean, if Rocha's not going to use his distance and his height, Abreu would oblige him.
Is this Abreu's best chance to win this fight, to fight on the inside? Or should he do something different?
Well, I mean, I think the power is on Rocha's side, but Abreu's been taking the shots really well. I think whoever uses the jab and uses cleaner shots, like that right there, an uppercut by Abreu in the inside was a clean shot.
Good combination. And again, when Rocha takes a step back, creates a little space, that's when he's most dangerous.
I think that's when judges get to see the clarity of a punch, when you step back.
You know, we've called a lot of female fights, and I can specifically remember watching replays in slow motion when they're on the inside, and you can see they're scoring, but live with your naked eye, you don't even see the punches connecting. They're so close.
Yeah, it's a different look when you're looking at slow motion, but I know what I'm watching there. But you know, the casual viewer, you know, most of the time you don't see the shots landing as effective as you should.
Put your arm out, Lex. Time, tiempo.
Here we have Alexis Rocha grinding away. I mean, the entire fight, he's just been going downstairs looking for those clean shots. But credit to Berlin Abreu, who's taking these shots. Rocha keeps digging away.
I call timeout. I just want.
And here we have him later in the round. Rocha with the same punishment.
Did you step back?
Upstairs and downstairs, digging away, looking for that right shot, that right place shot that hasn't really landed yet. And here's another sequence later in the round. Right uppercut upstairs. Catching Abreu between the shots, not forgetting the body. Abreu's not going anywhere.
Okay, no te olvides jab, turn him, no te quedes parado, mueve, get in a rhythm, desesperación, upper hook. Si se pone así, hit him on the top of the head with 2 hooks, okay?
They got a little bit more time, they call time, didn't hear it.
Hey, put it back in. Take this shit out.
Rocha has gone deep into rounds, a 10-rounder. In his last fight, 2 other 8-round decision wins. Abreu has gone 10 rounds just once and has seen the 6th round only twice.
Number 5.
So who knows what's going to happen if we get to the later stages.
Cinco. Pelea.
Round 5 here in Carson, California. Dignity Health Sports Park. There's that angle you were talking about, Sergio.
That's the first time I've seen it. Abreu came out aggressive, backing up Rocha. Rocha got a nice little step angle. That's exactly what I want to see. Continue doing it. Turn your man around. Make him miss and bang away from the sides.
Lomachenko, one of the best fighters in the world at doing that tactic.
Absolutely, and it starts with the feet. You know, you don't always have to put everything behind those shots. Like Rocha's putting a lot of power every time he digs down to the left and to the right. But if you're going to be moving and pivoting and using angles, you actually have to punch hard and punch with speed. Good shot right there by Rocha.
Well, you know, I was going to say, Abreu's having a decent round here. Looks much more confident than some of the other rounds.
He started off fast, backing up Rocha.
Right on the belt line with that left hand.
Lex. You all right? Stop. Time out. Hey, accidental. Necesito tiempo. 2 minutos. Okay. Lex, go over there. I got accidental low blow when he was complaining to me. He dropped his guard and got hit. I'm going to give him a couple of seconds just to regain his composure. Okay? ¿Está bien? ¿Más bueno?
I don't go, guys.
Yeah, I know. I see. So take a minute, all right? Lex, totally accidental. Keep him up. And he was trying to talk to me. You caught him. No big deal, all right? Just relax. Good? ¿Está bien?
Jack Reese always in control.
Time in.
Nice job there by him.
Always calm, cool, and collected. He did the right thing. He didn't take away no points. Just gave a warning. Gave Berlin Abreu some time to breathe for that low blow.
Stop. Separate.
Body shot by both men.
Digging in tough. Look at Abreu coming to life.
Abreu's digging away now.
And boy, I tell you what, Alexis Rocha may not have seen this coming. The best round of the night for the Dominican Republic natives. Oh, another uppercut.
And those are the clean shots that I'm talking about. Those are the ones that judges see when your neck gets pushed back like that. Those are the easily seen shots that get scored.
And Sergio, when you got a fighter who's almost guaranteeing an early knockout, and then we're in the 5th round, all of a sudden he's getting hit a little bit, how does his mentality change?
No, it can be discouraging, definitely. I mean, when you're in there and you think you're going to take out an opponent because he's been stopped before in this very venue last year, you think you're going to come out here and do exactly the same. But when he's in front of you, keeps coming forward, it's discouraging.
Are the tables turning here? Good right hand there for Abreu as he backs Rocha up again. Nice body shot there for Rocha as we head towards round 6.
You see the difference?
El cuerpo a lo último ahí.
Okay. At the very last moment, right?
¿Viste la diferencia en este round?
You see the difference?
Okay, vamos para
With
round
this
6.
round?
Cógeme aire. Cógeme aire.
6 is coming. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. That's it. That's it. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
¿Cómo te sientes, papi? Vamos.
Here we have the replay of the low blow. And there it is right there. Ref, I think that was a little bit on the belt line, but Jack Reese actually called it a low blow. But Abreu coming right back with heart. Flurries from left to right.
Dry him off, dry him off.
Best round of the fight by Abreu, but
Larry,
did he win it, Sergio?
You gotta get him dried off next time, Larry.
It's a close round. It's a close round, definitely. But I think that, that little breather helped him right there, and that's why he came back with a flurry of his own.
So we've reached the halfway point of this fight. A tougher night at the office than Alexis Rocha had anticipated. Let's see if he can turn things up here in the second half.
I would love for him to change game plans. I mean, every fighter comes in with an ABC game plan, and right now, the body shots the inside. I didn't think that Abreu was going to be able to withstand these body shots that long, but he has. I think Alexis Rocha needs to go to plan B or maybe even C and fight from the outside, fight behind the jab. Let Abreu come in and maybe catch him with uppercuts and right hooks and use that southpaw angle.
Why isn't he doing that, Sergio? But now he is right away. But comes right back inside, almost like two rams coming together.
Yeah, look, when you're a southpaw, you want to use the southpaw advantages. I mean, if you're going to be fighting the inside like that, there's no advantage to being a left-hander there. You're not using the angles of a left-hander. So Abreu, who's an orthodox fighter, he's just fighting the guy that's in front of him without no angles. The reason boxers hate fighting southpaws is because we don't get to see left-handers often, and they use that to their advantage. But Rocha is not using that to his advantage, just standing right in front of him.
Again, fighting later tonight is Alexis Rocha's half-brother, Ronnie Rios. They'll be squaring off against Diego De La Hoya. That's on our co-main event. That'll happen around 8 p.m. local time, 11 Eastern. Main card starts at the top of the hour. Rocky Hernandez right out of the gate, the unbeaten blue chipper out of Mexico. Good combo there for Rocha.
He was able to get some space with a jab, and that's why those punches landed with such effectiveness. See, now Rocha's getting some distance in between the punches. He's not smothering himself. He's getting some separation. That's where the power's going to come.
But again, Sergio, he has these moments of success, does Rocha, when he steps away, but then comes right back inside, head-to-head.
Chopping left hand there by Rocha, but not enough. Abreu keeps coming forward.
And there's some angles and some success for Alexis Rocha here in round 6.
Step around. When he's trying to lean on you, he's dead tired. This is why we do this. Are you tired, baby? Hell no. You're a fucking star, right? Sepárate un poquito más. Don't smother your shot. Step around. He's ready to go, okay? 2 or 3. No tire more than that. Slow, deep breath.
You know him better than me. He's taking a lot of heavy shots, man.
Slow everything down.
He's got to bring something.
I still want those 2 on top. I'm telling you, he'll go, okay?
He's taking too many shots.
Vivo con la derecha. Vivo con la derecha. It's like round 1, baby, right? Let's get it.
Told him I ain't going to watch much more of this.
Él está pegado contigo. Cuando él da medio paso atrás, que te va a tirar fuerte. Cuando él dé paso atrás...
Hey, they're gonna stop the fight for you. If you don't throw punches, they're gonna stop the fight. Hey, keep doing, keep doing. You need to drop punches. If not, they're gonna stop the fight. Go, go, go.
Jack Reese, our referee, telling Abreu's corner he needs to bring something after that round. And Rocha's corner telling their guy he's ready to go.
He's ready to go, and he finally got an angle. He stepped back and stopped smothering his punches, and that's why those shots were able to hurt Abreu.
Rocha also yelling to his trainer that he's not tired at all. Feels like the conditioning battle will be his. A reminder, he's just 22 years old. He can fight for days, Sergio.
And he's nice and calm. This is the calmness of a veteran. He's calm in there, and that's where you can actually translate the power. You know, you're just letting your hands go, turning your waist, turning your shoulders, practicing what you practice in the gym. You're just very comfortable in there.
Well, he looks like he's having fun, Sergio. Have you ever, as he opens up again, you ever been in a situation where maybe you think you can get the guy out of there, but you're just having so much fun doing work?
No, you've been there. And I'm not a power puncher, but yeah, I think every fighter's been there. And you're having fun in there. And look, you are in front of thousands of people. You want to entertain. And when you know that you're like a puppeteer in there, you're in control, you can do whatever you want. The world is your stage.
Or the world is your oyster, as I watched you down 8 of them on the beach last night at dinner.
Yes, I did. I love me some oysters.
Uppercut on the inside for Rocha.
Look, see right there, Rocha finally got some distance in between those shots. Kind of a right hook and a straight left hand. I would love to see Rocha back up, step back, and catch him coming in. Catch Abreu with uppercuts coming in, and then turn him. It's easier said than done. These are things that you need to practice in sparring.
Nice combination, punctuated by an uppercut for Rocha.
Lex, let him go, Lex. Or hold. Stop, my break.
And it seems at this point of the fight, correct me if I'm wrong, Sergio, it looks like Abreu has determined, I'm not going to win this fight, I'm just going to survive.
Well, look, he is a winner. I mean, he has 14 fights, he has 2 losses, 11 knockouts. So he still has that power, that confidence behind the power. But right now, he does look a little winded, a little dispirited. So yes, I would think that he's not going to go for the knockout. He's going to find some kind of meaning in trying to last the distance.
Well, just a couple seconds left here in round 7. But Rocha wants that KO. He's going to have 3 more rounds to do it. Final seconds here of round 7 in Carson, California.
Stop punching. How you doing, man? ¿Está bien? Hey, okay, you get me nervous. Soy nervioso. He did better that round. I got you.
Okay, watch his right hand. When he goes southpaw, use your jab a little bit. Get inside of him with your jab and then explode. Try to box a little bit more. Boxea lado a lado. Every time you get creation, you're hurting him. Separation, pa, pa, pa. Pero no te quedes parado. Hit him. 2 or 3 shots, step around him, okay?
Here we see Alexis Rocha going upstairs and downstairs with that right hook. Straight left hand right there. Later on in the round, Nice flurry, but he finishes it with that uppercut right there. Knocks Abreu's head back, and those are the clean shots that the judges like to see.
It's not that easy. Pelea.
Rocha told us this was his best training camp ever. We asked him what he did to stay entertained. He said, believe it or not, I like to torture myself by watching the Food Network to see all the food that I can't eat. He said he's addicted to food porn, Sergio.
No, you know what? When you're losing weight and you're in camp, believe it or not, that's exactly what you can't wait to eat. And you start dreaming about food. I was the same way. Every fighter the same way.
What was the first thing you would eat after a big fight?
Let him go.
It depended. I mean, you always crave carbs and pizza and something cheesy, but of course, Mexican food.
Was it Bernard Hopkins that always had a piece of cheesecake after his wins?
I doubt it. Bernard Hopkins is a gladiator. I mean, he ate like a gladiator, and he still has that size 32 waist that he's very proud of.
Yeah, he's a vegan too now, I believe. Still works out like a fiend. He says, I just can't stop. I'm addicted to the gym.
No, he's a specimen, and that's why he's one of the greatest fighters of our generation. And I mean, his fitness is out of this world, and that's why they call that man the alien.
Of course, part owner of Golden Boy, the promoter of tonight's fights. Still to come, the WBC Super Bantamweight Championship, Ray Vargas and Tomoki Kameda. By then, it should be nice and cool, right?
Hopefully. The action is cooling off here. I think Alexis Rocha is maybe taking this round off. I would want to do the opposite if I was him, because there is some concern in Berlin Abreu's corner. Referee Jack Reese is taking a closer look into this fight. So I would get more aggressive if I was Rocha here. Just like that. Go for the knockout right here. Abreu is hurt.
Right hand there for Rocha. Bad body language for Abreu. Rocha looking for the finish here. Jack Reese taking a good look.
But Abreu still punching in between the shots. Stop. Threw an overhand right that landed on top of Rocha's head.
I'm stopping the fight.
Reese telling him to fight back.
A fast flurry on Alexis Rocha, and I think Jack Reese will stop this fight. It's not going to take much for him to stop this fight. He's ready to go. I just think Rocha needs to put away some combinations, but with speed, not power. Speed's gonna stop this fight.
10 seconds to go. Will he survive the round?
Right here, combination.
Will do it. Jack Reese says enough is enough, and Alexis Rocha has his 9th knockout, and it happened here in Carson, California.
And it came with speed and not power. Alexis Rocha told us he doesn't go looking for knockouts, but he sure seems to get them often.
The left uppercut started the unraveling of Berlin Abreu. And the knockout didn't come as early as Rocha probably wanted it to come, but it did arrive.
Left uppercut.
Let's show you how Rocha closed the show here in the later stages of this fight.
I want to say it was a left uppercut that finally sealed the deal, but Abreu was getting hit with everything that Rocha was throwing. Right hooks, left hooks, body shots. But it was the left hook that I thought I seen in there that really did it. Onslaught of punches right there, forcing Jack Reese to take a closer look. Later in the fight, small clash of heads right there. Nice body shot by Rocha. That's the shot he was looking for. He just set up that body shot just to land that clean right hook around the guard of Abreu. Gotta hand it to Abreu. He was game. He kept coming back, but ultimately the onslaught of punches and that attack was way too much, and Jack Reese had to stop this fight. No argument on the part of Berlin Abreu either.
Alexis Abreu was on track to go to the 2016 Olympics, but opted to turn professional instead. He says it's because his style better suited the professional ranks, and with a record of 14-0, looks like it was the right decision. Let's send it into the ring now, and Joe Martinez.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the end comes officially. 2 minutes, 56 seconds, round number 8. Referee Jack Reese puts a halt to the bout for your winner by KO. He is still undefeated and still WBC Continental America's welterweight champion from Santana Califas, Alexis Lex Rocha.
So Alexis Rocha, 14-0 and 9 KOs. Let's look one more time at how he got the job done, Sergio.
Well, here are the highlights. He got it done with patience and body shots from the first round on. I mentioned, I don't know how many of these body shots the smaller Abreu was going to take, but he took a lot of them, and credit to Berlin Abreu. He was in there, he was game, he was gritty, but ultimate Rocha was just placing the right shot to the body, finally found a home for that uppercut. When he watches this video, he's gonna know that he's gonna wanna fight at a distance and fight behind the jab, try to set these shots up with angles and movement. But all in all, Alexis Rocha went 8 rounds, got the stoppage, and that's all that matters.
I'll get it. When you come over, Todd, I'll give you your piece.
You know, this is what makes Alexis Rocha and young prospects like these with 13, 14 fights, this is what makes them develop. You don't want them to go out there and knock people out, knock opponents out right away. He went in there with 7, 8, 9 rounds with a very tough fighter in Abreu. This is what makes prospects into contenders and later champions.
Now we get set for our main card, which begins at the top of the hour. And with more on that, here's Beto Duran with Rocky Hernandez.
Rocky Hernandez makes his Dignity Park debut. It's been other names, but he knows about it. What do you know about the guys that have fought here?
No, pues unas guerras aquí. Creo que el sinónimo de pelear aquí es dar guerra, dar un buen espectáculo a la gente.
There have been a lot of wars here. The thing about this place is that people come here to give a great show and give wars.
When you saw you this week, you told me that you had to come to the United States to put on a show, to make a bigger name for yourself. Why is it important to fight well in the United States?
No, para que toda la gente diga que Rocky Hernández es una realidad, que Rocky Hernández lo quieren ver pelear aquí en Estados Unidos.
It's so that people say that Rocky Hernandez is a reality, and so that everyone wants to see him fight in the United States.
They told me at the gym that you hit really hard. Is that true?
Pues un poco más que nada es el trabajo día con día con el equipo de trabajo, vaya con Manny Robles, con Isaac Tortas Bustos, con mi papá, creo que se empleó buen trabajo.
A little bit, yes, but more than anything, it's the hard work that's done in the gym with Manny Robles, Isaac Bustos, my father. More than anything, it's the hard work.
Poquito or mucho?
Poquito.
Yeah, no, the guys in the gym have been telling me it's not poquito, it's mucho. Rocky, thank you very much. Good luck to you tonight. Let's go back to your ringside.
There is Rocky Hernandez, an 89% knockout ratio. Let's see if he can get another one here tonight. He'll kick off our main card coming up at the top of the hour. And here is tonight's fight card. 3 fights on the undercard, 4 on the main. Still to come, starting with Rocky Hernandez. Then it's Joet Gonzalez, who believes if he wins this fight, Sergio, he could get a world title opportunity as soon as September. Then the second cousin of Oscar De La Hoya, Diego, steps into the ring to take on Ronnie Rios. And then our main event, Ray Vargas and Tomoki Kameda. As we count down to the top of the hour, we thank you for watching Golden Boy here on Dazn. Sergio Mora, let's get into that main event tonight. What does Ray Vargas have to do to retain his title for the 5th time?
Well, Ray Vargas is undefeated. He knows what he has to do, but he's been a little vulnerable, like I mentioned earlier. I mean, he busted an eardrum. He's had cuts on both thighs. He went down in his last fight. And Tomoki Kameda comes in very confident. They know each other from the amateurs, but it's a different game, professionals and the amateur game, but he's very confident. El Mexicanito is here for the upset and wants to become a 2-time world champion.
You know, I think Kameda stunned everyone when he walked into the fighter meeting yesterday and spoke better Spanish than you do, Sergio. He says he's got that Mexican style and considers himself part Mexican, even though he was born in Japan and still trains there today.
Yeah, he was born in Osaka, Japan, and he's asking the Mexican and Ray Vargas to fight like a Mexican tonight, because that's exactly what this crowd wants to see, and this is exactly why the rabid fans here in Carson love this arena, because we always get the best out of the fighters and the warriors.
Well, he's calling him out not only for that reason, but also it suits his style better. If Kameda can get in the pocket and exchange with Vargas, that's to his advantage.
No, definitely, because Vargas is a technician. He likes fighting behind the 1-2. Excellent body puncher. Kameda has a sneaky right hand. He's an excellent body puncher himself, but it will benefit him. Both of them, Kameda's a little shorter, so Vargas is he doesn't want to get in the inside with Kameda. So yes, absolutely, the Japanese fighter wants Mexican style.
All right, quickly now on our opener. Coming up at the top of the hour, Rocky Hernandez is back fighting the United States for the second time. This guy seems to blow everybody out of the water. Do you think he does it again tonight against Roger Gutierrez?
I really think this is going to be a standout performance for Rocky, and it's going to be a good knockout fight.
Well, here he is, Roger Gutierrez. He knows he's the B-side, but really, Hernandez has never been tested that much. He's hoping to drag him into some of the later rounds and test his mettle.
No, definitely. I think Roger Gutierrez can do that, but he's in there with a really strong puncher in both hands in Rocky, so I really feel this won't last the distance, and Rocky is going to have a nice performance here in Carson.
And quickly, your thoughts on Diego De La Hoya. He's never been beaten tonight. He's in our co-main.
Man, I think that's going to be the fight of the night. I just think they're at the right. They caught Ronnie Rios at the right time. Ronnie Rios is here from Southern California. These are two guys that got brought up really nicely. That's going to be the fight of the night, in my opinion.
We're just getting started. We have our suntans now after a few hours in this sun. 4 fights to go, and it all starts at the top of the hour. It's our main event tonight, the WBC.